Today we're going to practice solving systems of equations by graphing, and we'll be using our calculator to help us. So when we are trying to solve a system of equations by graphing, we are looking for where the two graphs intersect. And depending on how you find the solution, depends on if you're given the graph or two equations. But either way, I'm always going to write my answer as a point, x comma y. So if I'm given the graph, these are the things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to mark the intersection. And two, I'm going to name it as a point. And remember, it's x comma y. So x comes first. So we're going to look at these examples before we do part B. So on my first graph, I'm going to plot my point of intersection. And then remember, you always start at 0, 0. So to get to this point, I have to go left 2, which would mean -2, which puts me here. And then I have to go down 2, which would be -2. So that point is -2, comma -2. The second graph, there's my point of intersection. And I have to start at 0, 0, and I go right 1. Right is positive. And I'm already there, which means I don't have to go up or down. So it'd be 1, comma 0. My third graph would be here. So when I'm naming my point, again, I start at 0, 0. I go right 1, 2, 3. So it's +3. And I go up 1. So I get 3, 1. Now what's weird about this bottom one is the bottom one, they never intersect. If you recall, these lines are called parallel lines. And parallel lines will never intersect. Well, if they don't intersect, what point can I name for an intersection? They're never going to cross. I'm never going to be able to mark the point where they intersect, which means there isn't an intersection. So what we call that is no solution. Now you should be able to, on your own paper, plot these and name these. So I would suggest pausing the video and then checking to make sure that you got it right. So this answer would be 3, comma 3, both positive. And this answer would be -4, comma 1. So that's how to do it if you're given the graph. Now the second way is if you're given two equations. Now we used desmos for this. So I'm going to list how you would use it for desmos. And you could also use your graphing calculator. There's only going to be something tricky on part C for your graphing calculator. So I'll do the first two in the graphing calculator, but it's actually just like desmos. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to graph equation number 1 in desmos and copy the table to graph it. And I'll just show you how to do that in your calculator. Then we're going to repeat step 1 with equation 2. And then last, we're going to name the intersection. And remember, it's always x, comma, y. And again, feel free to pause if you need to get any of this. Okay, so when I go to the back, whether I'm in Desmos or I'm in my calculator, Okay, and the desmos graphing, I can just type this in, y equals 2x minus 1, and I can type in y equals x plus 1. So I'm going to do that as well in my calculator. So I'm going to go to y equals, clear what I have. So I have 2x minus 1. And in Desmos, I could go to the little gear at the top, and I could put change to a table. And in here, I could just do second and press graph, which has blue in table. Okay, so there's my points. And sometimes you might want to write them down so you have them, or you can just look at your screen and graph them without copying it down. But I'm going to copy down at least a couple so that way we can get a nice graph. Okay, so I just copied these over here. Then I'm going to go to my graph and I'm going to plot these. -2 would go left 2, -5 go down 5, -1 left 1, down 3, 0, -1 just down 1, 1, 1, and 2, 3. So I have this nice line. And then I'm going to do this again for my other one. So I'm going to go back to y equals, and I'm going to do x plus 1, but I'm going to put it in the second spot. So when I hit second table, my y2 is going to be my points. So I have -2, -1, -1, 0. And again, I'm just going to copy some down. And then I'm going to plot those. And what I'm going to notice is that these graphs intersect. Now, if I hit my graph, I will also be able to see, sorry for the glare, that these graphs intersect. And on Desmos, you can just click right on the intersection. In this case, we can look at our graph and we see that that's happening here, and we can name that point. That is 2, 3. And if you click that on Desmos, it will show up. Okay, I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to clear these, and I'm going to type in both of these. -x minus 2. And the second one is 2 over 3. So I'm going to do alpha y equals 2 over 3 x plus 3. And I'll go to my table. Okay, so for my first one, I have -2, 0, -1, -1, 0, -2, 1, -3, 3, -5. I missed something. 2, -4. Okay, and for my other one, now you're going to notice this one looks funky. So I'm going to look for the whole one. So I have 0, 3, and I have 3, 5. All right, so 0, 3, and 3, 5. If I go to the other way, I would have that one. Okay, and I'm going to plot these. -2, 0, -1, -1, 0, -2. So it's going like this. And boom, I will see my intersection is right here. So that's -1, 2, 3, 1. So -3, 1.